What's up, y'all? This is Hussein Nasser from IGeometry, bringing you a new episode of ArcGIS Add-ins, episode 12, I think. So, in the last episode, we did something really cool. Are you recording? Yes. Alright, so we did something really cool. So, we managed to find out the dead areas. So, these are areas or within your service territory, okay, that does not have any phone reception, and that's really important, right? You want to identify those areas as a phone company or as a telecom company in order to find out which of those areas I need to add towers to in order to maximize coverage. All right, so that's what we did. So what we did is that when we have a tower range class, and then we have the dead area class, which has currently one feature. All right, so this will be basically the intersection between your service territory, and the definition of the service territory is basically where am I supposed as a company to provide service. For example, you don't want to provide service on the top of the mountains or in the river, for example, or in the sea, like the Pacific Ocean. You don't want service there, right? So you want to create those service territories, and it's a really good idea, this idea of service territory, which are these blue like rectangles that I did. So, and this is a good and manageable way to, like, say you can assign a city or a service territory to an entire city, and then you find out, which we'll be doing today, we found out how much percentage out of that service territory we are covering. And this is what we're gonna do today. All right, let's do this. So what I want to do is that per service territory, I want to find out how much service I'm giving, right? Like how much service, that's not the correct word. How much percentage out of that service territory I am covering, right? Or out of this service territory. How much are my towers doing? How well they are doing? Like you can cover like 70%, 60%. Obviously, we are doing very bad here, right? I believe this is like less than 50% because a lot of area. And the way we're going to do this is really easy. And so we're going to do this the easy way, okay? And that is by dividing the area of this service territory by the area of the dead island or areas, and then, or the other way around. So the dead areas over the service territory times 100 will give me the percentage of how much area I'm not covering, right? So deduct that from 100 and you get the basically this the areas that you are covering, right? So this is really a simple math problem. So this would be like dead areas over service territory times 100, and then this is like the dead or no signal coverage, right? And so let's bring this here equal, and the signal coverage is basically equal 100 minus the no signal coverage. Other way to do that is basically you can to find that you can divide the service territory by the individual areas of these guys, right? And this, we're gonna need that in order, for example, tell me how much are you covering, how much strong signal percentage are you covering as areas, right? So in this case, you want to take only those green circles, right? We don't want to take the red ones or the yellow ones. So I want to see, for example, if I took my phone out in this city or this area, okay, right, percentage wise, how much per how much I would be getting a strong signal, how many times would be I getting a strong signal. All right, so this is the idea. Right, so in this case, we're gonna use the green circles, or basically these are tower ranges where the range is equal 3. So we're gonna do that in the next episode, but this, we're gonna make it simple and quick. Let's try that. All right, how are we going to determine that? All right, so we can do that while calculating my dead area here. All right, so we can easily add a column here. Let's say like, oh, there you go. We have an area here. We have the actual area here, and we can get it because this is a feature, right? So we have the area here, and then we need a field here to say that coverage percentage. I need to find out a better name for this. All right, so let's get started here with our code. So we want to add a field here that says the signal percentage, for example, right? So let's start with that. Can I add? I don't know if I can do that, but yeah, give it a shot. I don't know if I can do that. Maybe because I'm adding that, so it's locked. So I don't know if I can add a field to the dead areas. Right, so just the dead area is enough. Finding the dead area index field. Yep, I can add. So I got signal coverage. Or just let's call it coverage. How about that? It's called coverage, and it is an integer coverage and percentage. All right, so let's apply, and we good. Let's close that. We don't need to say, oh, let's save actually. All right, so we have our code. So every episode, at the end of the episode, I commit here the changes. So these changes go to GitHub. The URL is in the description, the YouTube. Are we recording? Yep. So each, and sometimes I forget to sync those changes, but if I do, just shoot me and say, hey, Hussein, please sync your changes so it appears there. All right. So if I don't sync the changes to the server, GitHub never gets them. All right. So you can get the latest code from GitHub. All right. So what do we want to do? Where's the code where we find generate dead areas? There you go. When we want to generate dead areas, I want to get the service territory, and that's the service territory. We're making an assumption that we have one service territory. That is wrong. We want to make the service territory as a class actually, and from that class we can get, per service territory, we can get all these cool stuff. All right, so for that I'm gonna start, we're adding a service territory class actually. I'm gonna move some code from here. Service territory, right? So that's the service territory class. It'll be public. And then to start to initiate the service territory class, you need to pass it public service territory. We need to pass it the actual feature or the service territory ID or the name, which we don't have. So let's do that actually. I need to add a name to my service territory, because this will be useful in the coming episodes. Because what I want to do is that I want to have multiple service territories, and each service territory will have like a name or something. Let's call it name, right? Nothing fancy. and my current service territory was called any name, right? So this is like the main or something, right? So yeah, let's start editing. Then just go to my service territory. Currently we have one, so let's call it, we can call it like main, whatever, right? So this could be like a city name. You're covering a city, like the city of Redlands, for example, in our case, right? So I want you create one service territory for Redlands, one service territory for LA. Maybe LA is too big, so you go Beverly Hills or all these small cities inside Los Angeles, you know. So you want to measure every service territory and then get that percentage. How much are we covering of Los Angeles, right? How much are we covering of Redlands, or and so on, right? So this is the idea about this. So you want to do that. So here you need to pass me the name. Sorry, but you have to pass me the name of that service territory so I can get that name. So from the name, so that's actually good. How do service territory class? I'm the tower manager, and the tower manager, you need to pass me also the workspace. I don't have access to the workspace there, right? Because yeah, you have to pass me the workspace or the tower manager for that matter. But because I need to open the I'll be needing to open the service territory class, right? So how am I going to do that if you don't pass me the service territory, correct? Or the workspace. So let's go back here. Where my device manager? Was it device manager? I forgot. Tower manager. So here we're gonna have the workspace edit. Was it this one? Yeah. So from this, I'm opening the feature class of the service territory here to get that particular service territory, right? And then the rest is just random stuff, right? Oh, what did I do? Right. Let's copy that. Generate service territory device, right? We need to open that. Right, so we have the workspace nicely down here. We need to cast it to our workspace edit, obviously. So we get all this nice functionality. Da, da, da. All right, let's do that. Open. No, really? Should be I feature workspace. I just need to edit, open, not edit. That's wrong. P workspace, PF workspace, which just stands for feature workspace. Open the service territory, nicely done. Not null, we need actually to search that particular service territory. So we need a query filter. So I query filter, P query filter equal new query filter. And the P query filter very close equal to what? Name is equal to plus name. So give me that name, that particular service territory. So that's one way to do it, right? So nice. And we have ourselves a nicely service territory right there, right? So probably I need a property here to say return a feature, service territory feature. Then we basically set that service territory feature equal that. Sometimes, remember, this could be null, right? So the name might not be found, so the service territory might not exist, but we need to handle that anyway. So now that we have that, we go back to our code and we clean it up. The generated areas, we remove that code, all right, obviously, and you need to create a service territory. Let's call it main service territory is equal to new service territory, and we need to pass it to stuff, right? The workspace, which is this, and the name, which is main. Did I call it main capital, or what did I call it? What's a small or capital, but all caps. So gotta respect the case sensitivity, guys. Gotta respect it. All right, that's it. One line of code, nicely done. Service territory feature, right? Good, good. And same thing here. He needs the shape in order to get the service territory. Geometry. And then in that part, see, I see this function generate did areas as it generates the did areas, right? So what it does that it search that service territory, okay, and then open the feature class to our range, and then unions everything, right? That's right? So it unions everything, and then basically does an intersect between the service territory geometry and the reception. I like the reception better than the coverage. I keep changing those terms every day. Sorry about that, guys. Alright, are we recording? Yep. So this way we have ourselves a nice feature here. Right. But I'm just debating if this function should be moved to the service territory itself. But I don't think so though. Nah, we'll keep it here. Right, so this is just to generate the dead area, so we need all this information. Alright, so we save that. While we store that, we want to store the percentage, right? So how much reception are you losing here in the dead area, right? So create a feature. Well, before you set that, we need to set the coverage, which is the set value, what the hell, set value, beaded area, dot fields, dot find field, did I call it coverage? Then it should be coverage, and then you set that value to an object which is called coverage here. Alright, let's call, I don't know, coverage, right? Need to declare that variable, which should be like an integer coverage. Come to think about it, should be a double, so you can have like a 50.7%, right? But we don't really care about that much, right? So we need an integer coverage, have it nicely done. We have ourselves a did area, and we have ourselves what? That's really easy to calculate, guys. So we have a did areas geometry, nicely done. And we have a service territory geometry. We have two, right? How do I calculate that? That's really easy. Now, all I have to do is basically do that. First, we need, we did the formula, right? So we need to divide the dead areas geometry, and that we need to convert that to an area. I'm getting better in in C#. So I think we can do that. Not quite sure, but oh, I'm so good, man. So we divide that by, it's like cryptic language down here. By that, that's a reception geometry. We have that too. That's actually good. Better store that somewhere, but I don't know where to store it. Why don't we store it on the service territory? But the problem is that we need to make sure to update that. So I don't know if that's a good idea, because if we store, we can store this actually in the service territory itself, and that actually, it's come to think about it, it's actually a better idea, right? So give me the dead areas, signal reception coverage, right? That would be good. The dead areas reception coverage. That's actually good. I'm gonna add it now. See, I'm making design as we go. How about that? Let's go with just coverage, right? And make that an integer too. So how much coverage are you given here, right? But the dead area, how much coverage are given in the dead area itself. So that's actually something important to think about. All right, so we have that. Divide the dead areas by, I don't know what's wrong with her. All right, so service geometry area, and okay, of course. All right, now this is good. Okay, divide this by this, and then to get the reception, that's the coverage. Let's call that dead coverage, and then reception coverage, right? And the reception coverage is nothing but the 100 minus dead coverage. How about that? Now, we're going to add a dead coverage here in the dead coverage. Obviously, okay, he's not complaining. That's good, because it's an object, right? Because this guy takes an object here. I'm pointing by my finger. But the problem is that we need to go about and update the service territory, the reception coverage. Right? You know what? I don't think this dead areas should be here. I don't think this should be in the dead area class. Should both of them actually should be in the service territory. This makes more sense, right? So let's call it dead coverage, and then we call it reception coverage, right? Much better, much better. Did that. Then reception coverage. Of course, this is percentage. Both of them, that. Oh, did I cancel? God damn it, I canceled. Man. Dead coverage. And then reception coverage. Right, coverage. This is my coverage. That's dead. And then this is the reception coverage percentage. And then apply. God damn it. Why? Oh Lord. Oh Lord. What happened? So that's out. So we add these features, but we know we need to go here in the service territory. Now this is the usefulness of the service territory class. We need to add a function called update void update coverages, and you just send me basically two pieces of information, right? So this is, you need to send me the integer dead coverage and then integer reception coverage. And then I'm gonna make something really fun here. So I don't need to really save the workspace. I can get the workspace from the feature. So that's actually a good exercise. Let's do that, right? So I need, obviously this is an edit operation, right? So I need a workspace edit. But how can I get a workspace edit? I didn't save it. I just was too lazy. I just used it and discarded here. So how do I get the workspace from the feature? Service territory feature u dot class, and that is actually nothing but a dataset. You do that. I data set, and then you do that. I think you do this workspace. You do the whole thing dot workspace. Ooh, how about that? Are you proud of me, guys? I'm getting better at C#, doing all these nasty things. I would have it built. Alright, so now we need to start an edit operation, and you guys know what's an edit operation. You need to do true, and then you do transaction, start edit operation, and then we go to the stop edit operation, and then go to the edit stop editing and save. This will guarantee that our transaction will run successfully. And in case it failed, you do catch. We don't really care what failed it. Maybe you care in the future, but now we're just writing like a simple application, right? So this is not a production application, obviously. So you just do, okay, we need to bring this guy up. Bring this down. And then we need to abort. In case anything happened in the middle, you need to abort. Now we take them features, service territory feature. I'm just thinking. I think this will work. Alright, set values. Alright, now we need to take them fields. What is your fields? Did coverage, reception coverage. Set value. Alright, so index, service territory fields, let's find fields, dead coverage, and then comma the value, which is the dead coverage. Then you do pompa. Then you do that, paste, copy. Then obviously you need to store that. So you hit that, right? Then you do reception coverage, and then you send in the reception coverage. And we go back to my tower manager, and you say, hey, by the way, why don't you do that? In my service territory, after you finish everything, update the coverages of the dead coverage and the reception coverage. Ooh, and obviously there's an error. I don't know why. Yeah, I know why. I know why. Because of this all double and ugh. Right, let's make this double. Right, local assigned, no problem, don't worry, just say no, everything gonna be alright. And then we need to do one more thing here in the dead areas. I really poorly thought of that. So I think it's FN delete. Yeah, we don't need that field anymore. How about that? Do you think, guys, this will work from the first shot? Obviously, by the way, we need to generate new dead areas, but I'm starting to freak out now. Do we delete the areas? Do we delete that? We assume, well, nope, we don't delete the dead areas. We have to delete it. I'm gonna delete it manually anyway. Start. Because I don't have a code to delete that. I should have done that offline. I'm sorry. It's just too busy in this week. Alright, so now generate. And we have ourselves a dead area. Right? And we have a service territory which is updated. Whoa. Okay, that's just weird. 1% dead and reception coverage is 99. Whoa, that doesn't look like 99 to me at all. So let's start debugging. Let's debug them. Debug. Right, so let's debug. Build and debug. Alright, so where do we have here? So obviously the error is while you're generating those, right? So come on. So we have dead areas topology. We have the symmetrical on point. And that is the service territory, right? That's the reception geometry. That's the service territory. Good. Yep, that's the service territory right there. So I need to take that service territory, the area of that, divided by the area of that. Alright, let's debug. Jesus. All these symbols. Okay. Service territory, we have the dead areas. Nope. So debugging doesn't work as usual. I don't know what's wrong. Says you use a debug build configuration or disable the debug enable just on my code. Swear to God. Clean solution. Let's just debug. See. That didn't work. Gonna debug manually. So guys, stick with me. Alright, so obviously the dead areas is 1. I don't know why it's okay. I think I know. I'm not sure, but I think, yeah, we didn't multiply by 100. Yep. So that's the dead area coverage. So you divided that. That's a double. You have to multiply that by 100 to get a percentage, right? That's what happened. So now we multiply that by 100 divided by that, we get a percentage, correct? And then that percentage you divide that. That makes sense. Should get a better number now. It should be though less than 100, right? By default, because the dead area should be less than or equal the service territory. Yeah, that's more like it. 80-20. 20%. Oh my god. Only 20% reception. That is really bad, guys. That is really bad. We need to fix this. All right. So the next episode, I'm discussing actually to allow this tool to be more smart and actually displace those towers in a location where we get maximum coverage while we get the minimum price. So we're gonna do that in the next episode. I promise you that. And we're gonna add some methods to get, I think this is easy, right? To get the dead reception and the dead coverage percentage and the reception coverage percentage. So we have a lot of stuff to do. So, but now today we managed to show. Dun, 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 that's another problem. I need to solve it. Don't worry about it. It's really a easy fix. So with each generate, I just need to cleanse all these dead areas features and then create new ones, because every time you click you just create a new one, right? We fixed that with the tower range, but obviously we didn't write the code for that. I'm gonna write that offline because you don't need to worry about it. It's just easy code. There's no point actually of writing it. It's just waste of time to write it live, while recording it. So I'm gonna clean this up and maybe add a function or two in the service today. I'm gonna show you everything I wrote. All right, guys. All right, you stay awesome, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this one. Goodbye.